Hi there everybody, it's Dr. Abby, and I decided I was going to take my book out today. I've been talking about it a lot to different people, and I thought I could just open it right to the center and then see where it takes us. It's not just a book that you could read once, and even I, having written it almost a year ago, I still need to pull it back out again and just find something. So I'm going to open it right here into the middle. We're on page 94, and this section is about the perpetual foreigner syndrome. So it talks about three different very important parts of the psychology of Filipino Americans. One of them is colonial mentality, and that's a whole thing. I won't go into that because today we're going to pick perpetual foreigner syndrome. The second one is model minority myth, and yesterday someone was saying that this book allowed them to advance beyond the victim mentality of model minority myth and finally see how our cultural values can work for us instead of against us. But on perpetual foreigner syndrome, the thing I always say about that is that it represents how when I walk into a room, the second somebody sees me, they immediately see what I look like. So I'm officially the foreigner. Immediately they will apply upon me everything they know about the other person, other people they know that look like me. So they might say something like, "Oh, you look just like my classmate in my algebra class when I was in high school. Her name was Amy. She helped us with all the homework." Or like they say, "Oh, are you Filipino? Oh my goodness, I love lumpia. We once, when we were in the military, we had other Filipino families that had parties all the time, and they always had that awesome lumpia, and it was so good." And immediately they think I'm going to be what they know of those other people that look like me. I mean, I don't go to every single redhead and say, "Oh my goodness, you are just like my friend Lisa." No, each person is a different person. I'm a human being. Just because you see me and I look Filipino doesn't mean that I'm completely fluent in Tagalog, which I'm not. And that's a thing. There are second gens or even first gens who don't even speak it anymore. And I should get the opportunity to just be me. So if I meet somebody, sometimes I'll say something like, "Oh, how do you know the birthday celebrant?" Or, "Oh, is this your first time coming to this networking event?" Or, "Oh, did you have to drive far to get here?" Or, "Oh, you live over in that area." And immediately I'll start making connections based on that person and what they have shared with me, not what they look like. So in this, it says, "I was born in New York and raised in Florida. So when someone asks me, 'Where are you from?' I will tell them I'm from Tampa, or that I was born in New York," and that people will just not accept Tampa or New York as an answer. They push to find a different answer. And then they have to ask, and Filipinos and Asians will often say, "Oh my goodness, that happens to me all the time." They'll ask, "Where are you really from?" And it's very triggering. It's kind of like you're already a loser because you answered this question wrong. Like, what a disappointment. You should just go back to where you came from. That's another not favorite comment that we hear. So this says, "Have you ever heard of Margaret Cho? She's a Korean comedian who's born and raised in San Francisco, and once when she was on a show, the announcer asked her to tell her people in her native language that the show would be changing over to an ABC affiliate. Well, since she's an American from San Francisco, she looked into the camera and she said, 'They're changing over to an ABC affiliate,' because that was her native language. So as perpetual foreigners, we will always have these expectations placed upon us until this world changes. This is like the dream that like Martin Luther King. I have a dream that one day when someone sees me, they will realize that there's a 50-50 chance, or there's a good chance, or a chance at all, that I may not know how to make lumpia. Okay? Not that it's something to be embarrassed of, but just don't stereotype. So it says here, one time I was interviewing candidates for a position at my company, and when one candidate arrived in the lobby, the receptionist sent me a message in my office, told me to come out, and so I came to the lobby and I said, "Oh, hello, welcome, I'm glad to see you. Let's go on back to my office and let's have a chat." And they were like, no, I'm here to meet Abby Hamilton. And I laughed it off and I said, "Oh yes, I'm Abby Hamilton." And that person said, "Oh no, you couldn't possibly be." This is the world we're in. Where are you? Are you one of the people who still will immediately apply things to people? I mean, it's not even about being Filipino or Asian. Like, let's say if you knew someone who was from Wisconsin, would you automatically go, "Cheesehead"? Maybe you would. Maybe you're one of these people who wants to make a connection. Okay, so let's just talk about that. It's not a crime to want to make a connection. It's really not. Like, thank you. Thank you for trying to think of something that we can have a chat about, or that we can laugh about, or connect about, or talk about, food like lumpia. But at some point, it becomes a form of harassing, and it's not always a positive experience. So be aware of what you're doing. Try not to immediately go, cheesehead or anything like if I'm from Florida, do you automatically go, "Oh, Disney World," or I don't know, oranges, whatever it is. If anything, it might come from a good place, but I'm telling you now so that you could be aware that it could show that you're closed-minded, or that you're ignorant of the reality that each person's just a human being. So I hope that this talk will kind of make you aware when you're saying things. You don't have to walk on eggshells, but just, look at the person as a person and say, "Oh, that blue looks good on you," or something like, have you worked here long, or anything like that treats me as a human, not as a, "Oh, you look like that, this is how you should be." All right, so the book continues, and I'm going to stop here. Well, I'm going to just give you this challenge. Look up Josh Dela Cruz, because he is like the official ambassador for breaking out of perpetual foreigner syndrome. He is the host on Blues Clues and You, and he now is breaking barriers to help the American society see that this image, this look, is a normal look. It's not someone that you should immediately stereotype as all of the above. All they know math, they're a doctor or a nurse, they know how to make Filipino egg rolls, or do the tinikling bamboo stick dance that you once saw on some show, or, oh yeah, the new one. "Oh, you're Filipino? Joe Coy, ha ha!" Okay, yes, Joe Coy is Filipino, and he is introducing our culture to the world. But please just recognize if you're stereotyping. This is just part of chapter 6 of my book, Speak Up, Anak. If you are Filipino, I recommend this book because it will help you understand your values, like pakikisama, utang na loob, lakas ng loob, hiya, hospitality, all these different things. Then it will help you translate it into how you relate in your personal everyday life. And then at chapter 8 is where the gold is. You can just skip straight to chapter 8 because it'll give you the 5 techniques for being assertive that you could use like today. So Speak Up, Anak. It's on Amazon, and I hope that you will enjoy it, and I hope that you will do a review. If you haven't done one yet, do a review and let the world know how this book helped you. Thanks so much, and Speak Up, Anak.